Hachayo Noel, hello everyone and happy new Maya year. Today we are beginning the year of one deer in the Maya calendar. But it's not only a new year that is beginning, but also a 13-year cycle that is ruled by the deer. We have a lot to talk about. That's why for this video I will split in two parts. This one I will talk about the entrance of this new year. The other one I will connect the dots with the 13-year cycle as a whole. If you are part of the Maya Daykeeper clan, you already have information on your inbox about not only this new year that is beginning right now, but also the analysis of the Trecena we are also beginning. I'm also sending you an extra email talking only about the month, what is about this shift between the wind and now the deer, this 13-year cycle. So if you don't want to wait until I post the next part of the video, just go to mayadaykeeper.me and subscribe to my newsletter to receive not only Trecena analysis but also other Maya teachings in your inbox. There you also have an opportunity to become a Prime Clan member and be invited to exclusive sessions just like the content of this video that I did for students, and also invited some Prime Clan members. Just go there to mayadaykeeper.me. You won't regret for subscribing, and now without further ado, let's hop into the content. Now coming back to our presentation here to talk about especially the shift, we can see that, connecting to what happened, everything that brought up, like the cat will try to stabilize, we try to grow with it, we try to get strong, sometimes resist whenever it's necessary. Cat also from the other side, that'll be, if it's already pushing to like this social command or just to rule over the others. Care could also enhance that because care can be a very bossy. It's a very masculine and bossy spirit that comes to command. But it's that bossy spirit that likes to command without doing much. It's just like the one that is strong enough just to resist and just tell that. Not necessarily is the one that is more skilled, but it's the one that wins by confronting, by trying just to overpower the other. Kerken also enters into this. But of course, as this big accumulation of impulse that 13 ik has brought us, also will create like the need to be able to, of being strong to handle all of these impulse. That's why we enter to this shift and we can start understanding what this 13-year cycle will begin to act. How we will take everything this 13 ik has done and work with it, and later on pass the ball or pass the baton, the baton to the 13-year cycle. So everything that here, like these years of accelerated changes, like these scatter winds, the deer will try to ground. External impulse, internal inner strength. Movement and chaos, stability and the altar. Hurricane saddles, four legs, plants, like this connection with the altar, trying to ground things. But of course, everything that is being accumulated, or everything, all the seeds that the wind had spread all over these 13 years, through grounding, can also repercute and germinate. But it's better that these seeds are going to be germinated with a firm ground, with like a balanced ground. So now it's time, just to take care of the things. And so now let me just move here in the presentation to begin with Cholqij. So Cholqij, we are just crossing, as was mentioned in the newsletter, like the Tzolkin, the closing days. That will finish now in February 18. So everything that gather now will spring again with Ker, that is the altar, the strength, the deer. Oops. Is the deer. The altar, the spiritual guide. So it's the spirit is grounding. When we take to analyze one Ker, we need to analyze to understand what the spirit of this grandfather is talking about, is analyzing the Trecena, that is the next Trecena that is entering Hunker. That is the 13 Kawuk. So, in this Trecena, everything that is now starting like with a new path, like the spring, NAWAL 1, looking for a path. Like the spring, like is the water that breaks the skin of the earth and now is looking for a path. This big impulse just drove to intense paths, it blowed up everything. And now this creates like a need for an stabilization to control this big impulse to start looking for a path, before it's too late. So as you can see, this big impulse, whenever we imagine, picture Yik, like a big hurricane. Now, look at the Trecena of one Ker and what type of things this Trecena needs to deal. It is 7 the transformation. How do you contain all of these rushing changes that is coming? Like this big impulse provokes this Trecena of starts lightening with insights, deep intuition. You can connect to that, but sometimes it can be a lot of vision that you don't know how to concentrate. So that's how we feel the transition between this, like this rush, this excited kid that is the 13 week. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, and I want to buy a house, and I want to do this. And now the Ker needs to, okay, what do I need? How much money do I have? How much structure do I have? Okay, what ideas, support makes sense? Okay, like what do you need to ground towards to that? For example, if the 13 ik, like blew your life up, like you are completely desperate now. It is about like what type of new path of stability you need to start into. Maybe if your life is upside down, maybe it's time just to look for more inner balance, spiritual strength, something that you can hold on to. It can be not like talking about religion, but it can be like a philosophy, it can be something that makes you passionate and grounded in life, that makes you wake up more stable, makes you happy, just naturally following like this big vision that makes you thirsty to continue protecting something. Because Kerr talks about like the spiritual guys, the community, and how not only like all your actions and the things you're trying to build, how you apply your visions affect the ones next to you. So it is about what is the balance that you need, like the initial strength, so you can begin like these intense changes, to begin like this intense transformation. This act, like that makes you stop just, of handling something, or just to stop just being too passive to something and respond in a different way. Maybe it's the time whenever you feel already strong enough, like just to begin a path, to start executing your visions, to start putting that into the process. Because that's the thing whenever we talk about NAWAL. NAWAL, remember, that is the always rises from uncomfortability. The uncomfortability of needing to change, to get out of your comfort zone, like Kerr, when we talk about like a stability, can also enter to the realm of comfort zone. Like it's too comfortable, so you just settle there, like you self-indulge yourself. Okay, I need to treat myself nice. So it can stop or can just become too stubborn, like in the forelegs, or is reluctant to move. And that can be an initial challenge, for you to execute and just put your visions to learn the things that is running, just to go for transformation. Because going through transformation, you go through the uncomfortability. things will never gonna be fit straight away. You're gonna be facing blocks in the path. As you can analyze that sometimes like this block, you can choose, okay, just stay stagnant, say, oh, I cannot block because this is happening, and then care, like if your spirit is not like in balance, you cannot go back to yourself, like it's really connected and rooted to something that really moves you to achieve the changes, you ended up just being stagnant. Because then if you're stagnant, like the 13 Kawuk, can just hunt you with things. Oh, you're stagnant, will make you feel bad, will make you having like some types of compulsive behaviors, like eating a lot because you feel anxious, because you cannot transform something, you cannot change. So here is about, just finding the strength and stability to move something, but also paying attention to how you're going to be containing that, how you're doing as well to compensate. Because balance is the key of these 13 years there. It's not about rushing things, even though like the social media always asks us to rush, or we're always up to date, things are exploding. Every week there is a new AI, or you are rushed to do something, it can make us crazy. But this 13 years of care is more than moment just to go with balance. Because otherwise, we can be carried on in these digital streams, and this can create some balances in our well-being, like in the way we respond to things, how anxiety is going to be affecting us. Because the generations before never like experienced like an era like that, where like we have compete like the AIs, that it's going to be normal, just to have like this assistance that is there, and how like the government will try how this will affect us. So that's why it's important to go grounded, just to find also strength in others that can provide stability, so you can remain grounded in your visions, in your ways to bring a change to something that wasn't moving before, or to find that like the exciting fresh stream to go through. And so that's when we analyze here the Hunker, that's the energy, like the spirit of this first year. We can translate that as being like a quiet year, a tranquil year. They will try to understand what is going on as just like an initial container to see how much strength it can hold, if it needs another something. Because when we go here to explore, now ruled here by Care, like these 13 years, they're going to be entering now. After this spring of the container that is Hunker, everything that comes like with this spring of balance in the next year is going to be entering to 2E, that is the pathfinder. So it's the calculation of the path. So it's how like all this is how we can take one step back to understand all this big impulse, this cycle of ik accumulated, so we can manage the strength later on. And the collector here of this cycle is going to be now. So it's going to be about ideas. It's going to be about the decision-making process. It is about structuring something, making like a stable plan, which can provide like that can be grounded and provide protection. Can be like a path of stability. So this entire path here is all about obtaining knowledge of how to remain grounded, how to remain whole to yourself. So if you are if you are crossing here, that enters to this call of stabilizing everything that the 13 Ik has give this impulse now. So now it's about just to gain strength, gain authority, as the Keh, as a mom speaks about. And So yeah, coming back here to emphasize, just to deepen like our explanations with care. I always like to break down NAWAL care with three phases. We have the deer phase of this mom that carries the metaphors of the expressions of a regular deer that is there in the jungle, that is fast, that is all the time paying attention, just like that is the symbol of the spiritual guide that needs to be fast, to act, is strong. The flesh of the deer is the most nutritious for the jaguar. So it's the flesh that keeps the balance of the ecosystem there. So it's the symbol of stability in four legs. The deer carries these spots, like with the white spots in the back, carries is the representation of the sky, the stars. And the earth, it protects the earth, is the belly. So the deer is where like the sky and the earth comes together in four legs. Is a representation of the altars. It's the place where we make our offerings. So he enters to the realm of spirituality. In the lands is always, especially in the mountains, that is every time he's talking about now care and the spiritual qualities of the deer, he talks about the appearances or like the people that relates the says that sees the like a foggy deer jumping to the bushes, or like the mist um, that is surrounding the mountains there. There is a time of the year that looks a little bit like a deer that comes with a little bit of lightning there. So these are images that highlights the expression care as a deer, as a spiritual foundation. So we carry that just being quick and like to move, to understand what is going on. But this deer also carries the fear of the predators. Just like the deer is scared to go down the valley to drink water from the river because of jaguars and any other type of predators that can appear over there. So it also responds and creates the side of the Nauker, because what happens when the deer confronts a predator? The deer freezes, like cannot move, just became like completely like solid rock there. And so that's one of the things that happens with Nauker. There's something that stops you, it cannot make you move, it freezes you. It cannot make, so you need your time, like just to be able to move. It makes you uncomfortable and stuck. So that's one of the associations that we make with the deer. We can also associate the face of the spirit of the Nauker. This is like that became also common with the horse, because the horse, it can be more social than the deer in nature. So the horse like is more like it's stronger, like it's more muscular. It has like a sign like of strength and stability in four legs, but it can be wild as well. So it can be not letting the others ride them, but it can also be the one that can be domesticated, be taught how to learn or just to collaborate with the others. So this face of the deer can be when we talk about like how we share our strengths in the society, how we carry like with the strengths that we gather to walk the society forward. Because the horse has this symbol also of social animal that is use his strength for the keeping the balance of the society, or to keep the companion as a force there. So it serves also to maintain power, but is also is the face that can become wild, like when it's too strong or and stubborn. You can see that it can just stomps you, just puts you the legs inside of you. So it's harsh. So it shows that out of the sudden it can have like a very hard heat punch over there. So that's how we associate the care with these explanations of the horse. And the other phase that we can also approach and explain care can be also the mule, or the moose, which is a bigger animal, is a wilder. So it is the one that is very strong, and if you just come across, will confront you. Usually it's in peace, but if you just touch too much, is the one that is going to be confront you until one falls down. So it brings like the whenever like you are just too reluctant to move, or whenever you feel bossy, you feel like on the top of the others. That is this expression of that comes with the care of riding the others, being the boss, like just telling the others or how things are going to walk and dictate the things. So it's about, for example, you have balance, but then everything is so balanced, everything is working, and then you start getting comfortable. And then you can start getting cocky, you can start just inflating your ego. So it's being good for your ego, for your own accomplishments, and then you can take the thing, you can find, okay, oh, I deserve because I'm better, the others. So care creates like from being like accommodated, from being stagnant, from producing also good things, like being like a symbol of balance and strength, can also create the side of the care can be too much self-indulgent. And so these can be like create like this insatiable nature of the care that doesn't make it move, just want to coordinate things. And then whenever like it's confronted, we will confront back. So care can be like the one that doesn't walk forward, because you see the small troubles, you will try to defend. You try just to be stubborn, can stop things. But also is a representation of physical strength. It is about just getting stronger so we can handle more like this big impulse. So when we see this biggest impulse of the NAWAL 13 ik, now as a balloon, in these 13 years, it can build a lot of strength. Sometimes maybe we don't understand right now because the collector is just being released now, the 7E. Remember that I said there is a silent build-up. The path that these are related to the strength we need to accumulate now is going to be answered how we respond to things in nature, like in society with ourselves, how we carry things on in these next 13 years. So all these biggest impulse can be what makes the care extremely strong and stable, spiritually strong, physically strong, healthy, making like structured decisions to handle whatever comes next with the path. But also can be the repercussions that can create a lot of resistance as well. And how we're going to be balancing that? Because now coming back here to NAWAL care, as to these explanations about the deer, like the horse and the mule, now care always comes down to one thing. How do you respond to life? Because this is about like the mom will respond to life like a deer that is like free, like care, but is scary to go down the valley. You respond as a horse that's easy to contribute with the others in society, know how to establish boundaries, or you are the one that just let the others ride you instead, or you face like with strength, or you confront there. But also amidst everything, like how stable are you in between this? Because sometimes like we can use periods of our life where we are learning, maybe we need to obey to some others, But later on, how we feel mature, how we feel more stable, and we start questioning things, how we decide to express what we do. The 13-year cycle gave this biggest impulse. So now the care, it is about deciding this spring, how you decide to respond to life. As like the mystical, they draw inspiration from the spiritual side to balance the physical and just walk through life in a balanced way. The stubborn that is reluctant to see the facts and walk forward, or the one that is able to balance the things. So that's the main phases of, we speak about the essence of care. And here I was already explaining like this, as I was already excited talking here about that, so I just skipped as usually. the Here, so I just highlight things that I mentioned about the care as the altar. Like the care as the altar, like many people that I follow, like some clients, they always, oh, do I need to follow like the altar? Because sometimes it feels that you are entering to a spirit, like a religious something. Because I always tell that the altar, it can be something that you create a connection with. It depends on how you decide to look at that. So it's where you're going to be paying. So it's the sacred place that you make in your house, just to talk to the wind, where you can be yourself, where you can express where your ushlap, your inner being, like absorbing from your NAWALs, and then from the Trisena, and then from the mom. So it's the moment so you can balance the things, your connection with the mundo, is how you knock the door to sit down, like with the calendar. Remember, as I mentioned, the calendar is not like an astrological, only like an astrological chart that makes like our intellect like amazed by all the connections that he made, but primarily is a way to connect to the world, is a way to connect to the wind. It is about like how we're going to be expressing ourselves back to the world, how we work in gratitude. So always these small things, these small actions, whether like with belief in spirituality or if we're agnostic, doesn't matter. Just it creates us like a sense of self-realization, self-awareness that allows us to breathe a little bit and just to say, okay, what is next for now? So that's the sign of now care. That's the purpose of the altar, just to bring balance. Not only balance for you, maybe if you see like some friends in there, like some people in need, maybe there is nothing you can do. Sometimes you can offer your words, so you can create a relationship, as I said, with the calendar. So that's the spirit of the now care that brings this stability, that brings this place in which we can sit and talk to the world, creates this friendship. And yeah, so here I just highlighted some things that about the 13 Cholqij to emphasize the things with one care, like this 13 Cholqij will bring like this lightning flash insight in which makes you see a lot. But if you are focused only on, let's put it this way, negative things or things that doesn't add to what you really want to accomplish in life, the 13 Cholqij will just show what you want to see. It's a path that will continue overwhelming, you continue feeling like incomplete, or just create like a trouble that is bigger than you can imagine. So this neutral center is about just to begin without resistance. Try to see where things are flowing, because sometimes it's better to not fight against, but just to see the flow, the things are carrying, and just adapt.